Hello everybody, Bill on from MNPC Tech. I've got the Modsquito from the Mod Zoo. How you doing? Good to see ya.
Not too bad. Well, I guess it's not a Wednesday. This is weird. It's Thursday. My week is going to be all thrown off, but
I'm sorry.
Another live stream.
Yeah, and we've got another, I didn't predict this or plan this, but we have another budget case, but this one's pretty decent. $49.99 currently on newegg.com here in the US. And let us know, are you a Fractal Design fan? Do you have a Fractal Design case? What do you think about Fractal releasing these cases in 5 different colors? Mystify Red, Petrol Blue, Gunmetal Gray, White, and Black. 5 different colors, Moss. That's pretty cool.
It's a lot of colors, especially for Fractal Design.
Yeah.
I was kind of joking earlier. I was mentioning it. I was like, you know, it's newly remastered Fractal Design, now in color.
Exactly. Yeah, those of you familiar with Fractal, typically black cases, maybe a white one sprinkled here and there over the years.
I think they've had maybe a, what do they call it, titanium for...
Oh, the titanium gray. Yeah, for the, was it, yeah, the Define?
Defines, yeah.
Yep.
So black, white, somewhere in the middle. It's pretty common for Fractal Design.
Steve says, I wish they would innovate on layout more. Colors, meh. You know what though, Steve? It's a budget case. Only $49. You can only expect so much, right?
Yeah, it's true. And I mean, it's not, what he says is not false either. It's a pretty standard run-of-the-mill case.
Yeah,
you don't
it
get
is
a whole lot of features for your $49.99, but you do get pretty good build quality, which is nice. So if you want a solid case that you don't really have to worry about, like, oh, I accidentally bumped into it and I bent the side panel or something stupid like that, you know, you kind of sacrifice some of the more gimmicky side of cheap cases for build quality. So yeah, it all kind of depends on what you're looking for, I guess.
Yeah, and okay, so going to Steve's point about that, Steve, there's both pros and cons to this case, and we'll go over both. So right now, obviously, we got the red Focus G up. We've also got a blue Focus G in the shop. We're going to show without a system in it so you can get a comparison. This is just a basic system with a Corsair H80 120 radiator, Gigabyte ATX board, and a 580 RX video card, Corsair power supply, and there's a 3.5-inch drive in it. Just a basic budget system in it. You're typically going to see one GPU in a system, you know, in a case like this. The GPU bracket from MNPC Tech, ignore that. I just got a little bit excited with the red theme going on. I thought the carbon fiber matched our red nicely, and also our Lazy Susan carbon fiber turntable. So that's just a personal thing. Note that the Focus G does not include a rear 120 millimeter exhaust fan. There's no rear fan, but there is 2 new fans included in the front, which are really new for Fractal Design because they are LED fans, the first ever LED fans from Fractal Design. However, they're only white.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there eventually.
We could actually plug in the system as well. So, and there is no specs online currently for these fans either, gang.
But I mean, you know, they're moving forward cautiously. I mean, colors, we should just be excited that we got colors and lights all at the same time.
This is, I mean, it really is a landmark. Not only the LED fans in it, but the all perforated steel front mesh grille on the bezel was also a new thing for Fractal Design. So yeah, we're just kind of cruising around. Okay, the 5 1/4 bay is pop riveted in. It is not screwed in. So there's another cost-effective measure they made, and we believe that that bay is taken from another case, maybe the Meshify, perhaps.
Maybe, or it could, I don't know, because we noticed that there's some screw holes here that it's like, well, that's it. There's just two screw holes right here, but what else? I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and then so the front will take a 240 or a 280 radiator. The ceiling will only take a 240 in it because of that 5 1/4 bay being up there and blocking
Yeah, because your 140 millimeter fan holes end up here, so your radiator would end up running into your 5 1/4 inch bay.
Now let's take a closer look at the back side, if we can, if the cord will allow us. No, it won't. Let's see here.
And everything comes crashing down.
One of the things I noticed, remember, budget case, have a positive attitude. There's a lack of stamp standoffs for cable ties in the back. Moss counted out 6 total back here.
There's 6, and 5 of them are right in here. So there's not a whole lot of them.
Yeah. Another observation that I made while putting this system in is that if you use a 3.5 inch drive, another landmark, a 3.5 inch drive in one of my reviews, you'll want to go with a 90-degree SATA connector because the connector is right there overlapping the edge here. So if you're not careful when you put the side panel on, if you're going to slide it across, you could slice into that data cable. And also the power connector, this is a Cable Mods individually sleeved. It's like the paracord sleeving had to be squeezed in here. So just a little oversight by the engineer. This should have been shifted over even just a 1/4 of an inch, and you would have avoided that. Everything had to get bundled up here. Overall, the experience of putting the system in, not too bad. Another observation is that the cable holes, if you use an ATX board, the ATX board is going to slightly overlap over the opening. So, there's just little things like that I noticed.
Yeah, and then this one for the audio connector too, when you put the power supply in,
yeah.
you can't fit the audio connector up through there, so plan ahead. You need to have an audio connector.
So
we have a question out right now saying, is that 5 1/4 bay actually copper riveted also to the motherboard tray?
Yep.
So it's actually to the motherboard tray as well as the front?
Yes, sir. It is, if we look at it right here, there's one here, and then there's also one right. Oh, that's going to be tough to see with the wires in there. Maybe we can show it in the blue one easier, but
yeah.
So there's one there, and then there's one right here that's to the actual motherboard tray. And so the motherboard tray is only held to the top by 2, so this is the forward-most bracing, I guess. So there's really not much else that rigidifies the front of it.
Yep, that's true. What we'll do is we'll bring up the Focus G in blue, Petrol Blue, so you can get an idea what it looks like without a system installed. And everybody, thanks for, we noticed that there's some people waiting for the live stream started. Thanks for hanging with us today. We appreciate it. So here we go with the Petrol Blue. And also, Moss can give you an idea what this side panel is like, because a lot of people are curious about the window on it.
It's a window.
It's a big window.
It is a large window, and it's a little different than most windows that you usually see because, one, it's raised. It's raised differently in the front and the back. So it's like, a little bit in the front and then a lot more in the back. But I just like that all the edges are rounded. For some reason, it feels more refined that way. But it is, your standard run-of-the-mill, just a bunch of tabs that hold it in place. So if you wanted to replace it, you're going to be looking at either finding somebody that can do custom routing for you, or you just have to cut out an awful lot.
Yeah, that's actually... it's an insider thing here, gang. That's an NZXT factory thing. So I believe that this Focus G is made in the same... But here's the reality is that these manufacturers use a lot of the same factories over there. You'll see stuff, same factory making Corsair, Thermaltake, Fractal Design, and NZXT cases. So big revelation for you if you didn't know already. But yeah, I've seen that technique done on NZXT cases. Just another FYI before I forget. Now, Fractal Design was kind enough to send 2 of these Petrol Blue Focus G cases, and I'm giving away the second one they sent me. all you have to do is just go to mnpctech.com and go to any of the product pages, scroll down, and you'll see a giveaway tab. You'll see pictures of the Blue Focus G and giveaway entry form. Submit. I'm going to choose a winner on the 14th of September. Someone's going to get one of these Focus Gs that was sent to me in blue. And this blue actually reminds me a little bit of the Audi blue or the Honda Civic Si blue. I like it. What do you think, Jacques?
It's kind of a toss-up between the blue and the red for me, just because I always love anything red, including my cars. But the blue actually does look like a bit classier of a color than the red, because the red is right on the brink of being candy red, but not quite. And so the blue is kind of a nice muted blue, and I'm not sure how well it shows up in a stream. The color, I think, is actually better in person than what I see through the stream itself.
Yeah, it's a nice blue. It is a faint metallic blue, and there's just an observation that I made about the paint. The paint quality is decent, however, the clear coat's a little thin on the exterior, so be careful. It can scratch easily or mar easily, and the solution is that just use some automotive rubbing compound, and that should take out light scratches. So I like the front of it. I love a full mesh grill. I love that.
Yeah, I like it too. And if we take it off, you'll see that it is filtered. I'm just trying to do this kind of one-handed. There we go. Hey, didn't send it flying across the room. So it's filtered, but it's another one of those, you know, in the interest of cost, the only way to get at the filter is to bend a bunch of metal tabs, pull out the mesh all together, and that's the only way to get at it. So hopefully you can just clean it from here without having to dig through everything to get to the actual foam kind of whatever that is, mesh. You know, pretty standard front panel dust, I guess, or dust filter, but I just liked the design of the mesh on the inside. I almost kind of think they should make that the front grill.
Okay.
I don't know, I like it.
There is a Cougar case that I reviewed a few years ago that has a very similar.
The GT or the whatever that was?
Yeah. It wasn't as nice as this, and it was more expensive. It was like
it's bigger too.
69. No, not the. It was black. It's somewhere in my archives, but
I was thinking of the black and orange one. Or is that one that Greg reviewed?
That was a different one.
GTR or something like that.
Yeah. But you know, hey, first impression, $50. Yeah, it's worth it. I didn't feel, you know, like the chassis overall, like it's flimsy at all, like some cheap cases where you just kind of see it flex when you move it around. It's pretty solid, and that's what we expect from Fractal Design. They've always made a really well built steel chassis because their original goal with their products was sound and vibration dampening. And the Focus G series is not for the silent crowd. There is zero dampening properties other than plastic feet that aren't really soft plastic on the bottom.
They're not soft at all, and they're, you know, just plastic. So they're pretty chintzy, but again, you know, $50. You could replace them if you wanted to anyway, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. I mean, they're just holes in the bottom. So if you really, really wanted to, you could just put some rubber pads on the bottom of there and just call it a day. But
lowrider.
There you go. What is it? Slam your case.
All right, Moss, you have exactly 30 seconds.
Oh God, I already know what's coming.
Jacques, get your stopwatch ready.
Oh, damn it.
Can you get your stopwatch ready? Moss has 30 seconds to remove and reinstall this mesh filter screen.
How about just install it? Because the remove
is easy. Okay, just install it? Okay.
Ready?
Go.
Go. And something's not quite lined up. There we go. Done.
No.
Oop, I missed one right. That one.
All right.
Now it is.
Are they all in? All right, it's in. Okay.
Yes.
It was about
25 seconds.
Yeah, earlier.
Although we did that earlier, like we meticulously made sure they were all there, and then when we picked it up to move it again, it fell off and it was just sitting there like, what?
I know, bummer.
Yeah, so don't think you're gonna just pull this filter out the front and then
No, no, it's like a puzzle. All right, now what's cool
Still
though,
there. We're good.
I'll give them credit, is I like the new top filter screen design that they've done. Individual screens for the top grill, and it's full coverage up there, where you've seen in the past they've got like the magnetic screen, or they've got the Moduvent panels without any filtration.
Yeah, I like them. I actually prefer having my filters on the inside of the case versus on the outside. So I like that.
Yeah.
It might be a little bit more of a pain to clean them out, but I'll get over it, because honestly, I don't do a very good job of getting to
None
that
of
frequently.
us do. No.
It's kind of like, draining and flushing your loop. It's like, it's not growing anything that I can see, so I'll just let it go for a while longer.
My friend Computer Brad told me today he does tech support privately for people, and he says he's kind of like the dentist for computers, because a lot of people don't like to go to the dentist or brush their teeth or floss their teeth enough. So he's like, yeah, I'm always like the dentist for their computers. They never do like their malware protection or anything. So, okay, and also there's like something interesting here. I got educated by Moss today. That's why Moss comes in, because he's always got something new to share. In the accessory box, there's this thing I read in the description where it said Kensington padlock.
Kensington.
Oh, Kensington. I was like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, so there's a little thing. So if you, for whatever reason, I've personally never felt the need to, but I guess if you go to a LAN, maybe you would. But if you ever feel the need to lock your computer case up, there's a little bracket here. So that goes in through this little hole there, and then there's a screw that you put in here, and then you can lock that up. But, I mean, if anybody has a screwdriver, yeah.
A little, I don't know, keepsake little locket thing, I guess.
There you go. But then it's also Kensington style too, so you
this,
can.
Yeah,
Yep. And so that's the one if you had just like a standard laptop lock, which I actually might have one in my bag. But
do you think they call it Kensington because Kensington patented the idea?
It could be.
Yeah, they were the first company that produced those locks and mass marketed them to corporations. So we use them, or we issue them with every laptop that we give out at work. And then they're used by about 10% of the people.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Let's see. You might even.
If I didn't mention it earlier, gang, I think I did mention it. Just again, it doesn't include a rear exhaust fan, only the two front fans.
See, one of these.
Ah, yes.
So I don't actually know what the combination to this one is, so I'm not going to put it in there. But so basically, you would just end up sticking that into there, and then this thing opens up, and then you lock it out, knock it down that way.
All right.
But if you had a cable lock, or I know some people will use like a small cable lock for peripheral things. I don't know why, but like I said, maybe you'd feel more of a need to do that if you were at LAN events all the time or something. But
or like in a college dorm room.
Yeah.
Which
that's probably
targeted towards.
Your door's left open because you're partying and exactly. The 3.5-inch drive cage, you can relocate it
forward by like 2 inches.
Yeah, forward. There is a bracket here for the fans. All the holes are threaded, and I'm going to assume it's 632 thread.
Probably, yeah. So that was something that I had pointed out earlier on the other stream, was that yes, there's room for radiators, but you might end up having to drill out these pre-threaded holes, because there's two problems. One, there's a good likelihood that your radiator isn't going to be threaded the same as these, because there's like 3 different sizes that are typical. And the other problem is you would have to make sure that your radiator is right up against it when you get the screw through the thread, and that's never going to happen. So really, if you're going to install a radiator there, you're probably going to want to just drill those out and make your own holes for it. But it's not the end of the world.
Now, our chat, this is what I love about having all the people in the chat, is they can educate us. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is there an all-in-one cooler out there that has different thread other than 632? I've always seen 632 thread for all-in-one cooler radiators. If there's a different thread size that you've run into, let us know in the chat.
That's probably true because for most all-in-ones, there's only like 2 manufacturers for them.
Exactly. And then that patent's owned by...
Cool-It and Acetec?
Yeah, right. Yep, you pay them a little percentage in order to use an all-in-one to manufacture your own all-in-one.
Unless you get one of those ones like the Alpha Cools
or Leak Cool, Deep Cool, Leak Cool.
Yeah, yeah, or Swift Tech.
Yeah, watch out, gang. There are leaky all-in-ones out there on the market. Just do your research before buying.
And always leak test before you actually put power through everything.
Exactly. So we can go back to the red one before we finish up this stream. Now that you can see the motherboard plate here, there was a serious lack of cable tie standoffs made. Moz counted out 6 total.
Yeah, now you can see them all.
Yeah.
So there's 2 up here, 2 down there, and then 1 here, and then 1 kind of half a loop right there. Like I was telling Bill, I think the guy just forgot to delete that one out of the file when, oh, you missed one over here. You forgot to delete that one. You got all these ones, but you forgot to get rid of that one.
And it
Actually, Bill.
What?
When I look at this more, you don't happen to have a 2.5-inch drive handy, do you?
I could find one, I'm sure.
Because I may have found a 2.5-inch drive bay mount.
Let me see here. I'll just go to my hardware safe.
On the back side of the PC strap? Yeah.
Right there. Because it's for anybody that was watching the Meshify review, I think it was, Bill had mentioned, there was a section down by the power supply that he thought was a good spot. I think that's what these would be for.
Oh, yeah. Yep. It makes sense.
Because they look like they would line up. Let's see. Yep, they line up. If I could balance everything without getting in front of the camera.
That's where I would put mine, that's for sure.
Right there. Perfect.
Nice. Yep, I like that.
So there, you can put your solid state drive there just like you wanted to on the Meshify, Bill.
So we'll refer back again now that you've seen it, an empty carcass. Here it is with the meat inside. Again, for those just joining our live stream, just a basic system. It does not fit extended ATX motherboards.
Why not? Come on.
You got to get a real man's case for that.
Get a
Case Labs.
Get an SFX power supply. Wait, why are you running an SFX power supply with your extended ATX motherboard? Because I couldn't fit it with a full size.
Because I'm all about the radiator space, man.
Hey, wait a minute. Yeah, it's a pretty nice case for $50. I mean, if what you're looking for is a ton of features, yeah, you're gonna want to keep looking. But
yeah, I mean, it's $50, and it was like shipping was like $7. And it's a Fractal design.
It's not very heavy, so I guess it's not. It's just
right.
A large box. It's pretty light, which, it's a plus in that it's lighter, but it's a minus in that just means everything's a little bit thinner. But again, it's all price perspective, so nothing really surprising.
Sanctum Darkness, it's scrap. I'm telling you all, it's all scrap. Stay away. Take this video down. It's scrap. I only use Case Labs.
So is he saying this is recycled steel? How green?
If you're going to be like the ultimate case snob, okay, other than Case Labs, what's a really expensive case out there?
Inwins.
Leon Lee, Inwin.
If you get one of those Inwin special
Silverstone, TJ07.
Skip the case and just go with server racks and just,
Yeah.
Just a blade rack.
Yeah, my blade rack.
No big deal.
Nobody with a blade rack would be watching this anyways.
Well, there was a guy that collects vintage servers. I think Bill found him online on YouTube, and I was watching some of his videos. And I read through one of his blogs about buying. He actually bought a rack server. It was an old IBM Z.
Oh yeah.
And he had to rewire a panel in the basement of his house so he could get the right power that he needed.
Was this a
And
kid that did this?
he was like 16, 17.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just like,
Oh, I remember
holy
that.
buckets.
Yeah, he's awesome. I like
Just
that.
go that route.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody mentioned a couple names, Jacques. Like when I did my little rant. Like what are these brands they're mentioning?
He just said to Google Tronitor Dam.
Never heard of it. I mean, if we've never heard of it, it can't be that good. I mean, never heard of it.
It's not a very big name, I guess.
Yeah, it's this guy in Iceland, and he chisels the cases from stone.
That would actually be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would be. But the shipping will cost you a fortune.
Oh, yeah.
Hacks. Martin says hacks. Hi, Teddy Drums. How you doing? Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking in. We love seeing you. Let us know in the chat. Have you owned a Fractal case? Well, I'm looking at this red focus, and I'm thinking the AMD crowd, Team Red team guys, they should be eating this up, right?
And then Intel. You got Intel over here.
Oh, I see.
And if you want to, you could go get 3 different cases. You could get the white one to add to this, and then you could just have the, good old-fashioned America edition.
America combo. Yeah.
Get the white side panels going on.
That's funny, dude.
It's been a custom paint job.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
Easier, too.
All right.
Yeah, if you watched our Meshify, you'll understand how happy I am that you can just take this off and not have to be tied to your computer case.
Sai Kumar, he says, as a red team member, I like this case. Yeah, and also Asus ROG. Where's the ROG, people?
It's true. Although it seems like everybody these days makes a black and red motherboard.
Yeah, it does.
So.
Even Supermicro.
Yeah. Super micro. No comment.
So I did like that you were showing there that the top panel is not connected, unlike the Meshify, which I think that in the Meshify was my only kind of beef with it.
Yeah.
So it's nice that on the budget case that didn't exist.
Exactly. In the Meshify is $69.95, or was it $59.95? It's been so long.
69 or 79.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that
right
was
around
also
there.
had tempered glass, though.
Yeah,
so.
they had the tempered glass.
So that's probably why.
Exactly.
In order to afford the tempered glass, they had to sell their non-attached top panel.
Right. Jacques, is there any other questions that we can address while we're doing the live stream still?
None of the others that are outstanding so far.
I don't know if we ever showed it, but the top panel, you get your
Oh, yeah.
pretty standard front I/O. I mean, you power button, reset. This is also your power light on your power button, and then your hard drive activity light, and then you have headphone and microphone, and then a single USB 2.0 and a single 3.0. So, I guess why? I mean, let's just go with the 3.0s.
Right.
They had that right on the other one. They had just 2 black USB 3.0 ports.
You know what? Yes, it is. It is worldwide. The giveaway for the Focus G that I got, the blue one. It is for the blue version. I'm going to bet that this case is made in the in a different factory along with NZXT's cases, because I'm seeing similarities with this and some NZXT cases, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just seeing like some trademarks from factories. And the window, the biggest thing was the recess and the polycarbonate window for that attaching onto the panel. That's something that NZXT does as well. But it could be, I'm just throwing this out there, gang, that Fractal, knowing that they wanted to offer some different colors, they went to a factory that specializes in offering colors. As we know, NZXTs offer different colors. And the great thing about this factory is that the plastic matches the steel for the finish.
I was going to say,
and
that's hard to do.
it is very hard to do,
paint.
especially in a cheap case. If you you know, in the history of building PCs, and you bought a cheap case, and you're like, why is the bezel a little different shade color than the rest? Well, it's because it's cheap. So I'm going to bet that they used the factory that did a lot of NZXT's colored cases over the years. And currently, this is on newegg.com here in the States for $49.99 plus shipping. And everyone, you're welcome. Once the live stream stops, keep the feedback, comments, and questions going in the YouTube comments, because once the live stream ends, the live chat window closes up.
Gone forever.
It's gone. Also, let us know that you enjoy this live overview format. We're trying to offer something different while we get you involved. It's nice hearing from you guys. We got Callan from Envious Mods. Make sure you follow his channel. And we saw RG Tech, Steve, a lot of returning fans in the chat room. We love seeing you guys each time. Appreciate it. And yeah, so we are going to have another new case next week. It's not going to be a budget one. It'll be like a middle tier one, and probably have TG. You know, it's all about TG now.
It's all about those TGs.
Yeah.
No, you heard it first, though. We were talking about it. You know, you pop out the case feet and you put a little rubber pad on the bottom, slamming cases. That's the new thing. Just get rid of the case feet.
I just saw myself come up in the chat, and I asked myself something. I already forgot what.
So Amelia was trying to say, could you put RGB around the filter on the front cover? So I'm just trying to clarify if he's talking about on the
Oh, if it's
inside
too
or
dense,
outside.
maybe? Like too dense to see it through it?
I think he's talking about if you flip it over and we look at this, because on the stream it looks like there's a backside there.
You can see there is a border. What we can do is we can plug this system back in, and we'll turn off some of the lights so you can see what the current LED fans look like, what their illumination is. I'm just going to share my final thoughts on the Focus G, and then Moss will share his. Just an FYI, paint job is nice, but the clear could have been thicker. It scratches easily. It was disappointing seeing the 5 1/4 bay pop riveted in, but we are big boys. We have drills and drill bits, right? And we can drill out those pop rivets if they really bother us that much. There is no rear exhaust fan included. You know, just some little things that we went over. But overall, the construction is really decent for a $50 case. I like the new top fan filter design. Finally, Fractal Design has listened to our begging and pleading and questioning. Why don't you have LED fans? They finally hear. They're listening. And what we all agree on is that the front bezel removes easily without the umbilical cord attachment to the I/O switches. So that's my final thoughts.
I like it. I think it's a good option for somebody that wants a cheaper case but doesn't want just a run-of-the-mill black or white box. So if you're looking for color and cheap,
yeah, color and cheap.
There aren't really that many options.
No, there isn't.
There?
Not today. I mean, other than like really cheap ones, very plasticky. You know. Mario says, "Can you start the live stream over?" Funny, Mario.
Yeah, you drag the little round thing that's under the video all the way to the left.
There's a little tab. Just start over. All right, everybody. We'll see ya. Thanks for dropping in. And we'll be back again next week. And also don't forget that we've got the Hangouts. The Modzoo Hangouts have returned to my channel every Sunday, 4 p.m. Central Time. This Sunday is going to be a good one I'm excited for. Jacques has got the windowed side panel here. Just a warning, here's another thing. This polycarbonate, to be expected, it kind of scratches really easily. Just an FYI, gang. You want to, just from it being handled in my shop, leaning on the couch, and it's already got some marring on it. So you be careful of those side panel windows in these cases, both Fractal Design and NZXT. The best thing to do to clean the window is 100% cotton cloth and some soapy water. Yeah.
Make sure it's a clean cloth.
Yes, exactly. It wasn't used to clean your workbench earlier.
One of my coworkers used a towel from a hotel that he was at to clean off his glasses, and he put them back on, and he said, Why is everything so fuzzy? He thought his glasses were still dirty, so he did it again. It turns out that there was a little bit of grit, some sort of grit in the towel, scratched the living crap out of his glasses.
Oh my goodness. Hotel nightmares.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, everybody. Thanks again for watching. Please like and share. Leave comments in the YouTube page. And thanks again. Moss Jock, thank you. Oh, don't forget to also check out Mosquito's channel. I'll put it up here. Support the Mosquito. It is Mosquito Mods. That's his YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to his channel too, gang.
I can't promise anything interesting or timely, but there are things. So there's that.
He's always got some plan. All right. See you all. Have a good night.